Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Second sync. All right, I've completely given up on them, on it being any sort of good sound and or visuals.
Well, I mean the visuals.
The set's not finished. You're a nightmare to work with these mics, whether it's on stream.
The show must go on.
At least I'm not.
You're not, because you're a theater person.
I am.
What is that? Okay.
It means
We
that
have had dialogue training.
Well, here's the thing, Niko. Most theaters that we've worked with don't give us microphones. I've never. I've only worn a mic pack once in my life.
Yeah, almost never. So we have to be able to project everything.
Voice, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could get these mics to pick me up from across that room, and these are condensers, so they don't pick up shit.
But you're also the loudest person I've ever met, John Michael.
Listen,
so
I've mastered my own levels. I know how loud I am.
My brother's also really loud. I feel like some people just talk really loud just in general.
But also with twins, sometimes they're like night and day. So you and your brother are like night and day.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you two are. Absolutely. Just completely different people. We've had Alex on the show before, and he's like... when you guys were on, it was me and him talking for about 2 hours.
Because, Alex just enjoys, literally just speaking, and then he can he rambles a lot.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah, no, and then, he talks really loud. It's like, Alex, stop yelling. Because I swore, when we recorded that, he was, yelling into the mic.
Yeah, and you know what? His levels were fine.
Yeah, but he was like... Hey, so, I think this is
Hey, what you're doing right now, that's what you're supposed to do.
Okay, do you want me to...
Yes, do exactly what you just did.
Okay.
For the next hour and a half.
Right.
We're here for an hour and a half.
That's the minimum length of this show. It took forever. Listen, half of the waiting time was me fucking with this. It's a tradition with the podcast that every time I go to film, everything will break on me. For at least 30 minutes. It happens with Jake. It happens when we do them online with Matt. It happens no matter what. The set's not finished. Everything's broken. My air conditioner exploded.
Maybe you take some time before whenever you're doing stuff.
Niko, I did. And it was just
I was just chilling upstairs and everything was just breaking.
AC showed up to my house today. First of all, our lovely guest today, not only the Niko Malatanos, but Anna Caroline McGuinn. Two of my longest friends. You two are in complete competition for my longest friends, I think.
Well, game on, asshole.
All right. Who's going to be out first?
I've known you both. We started hanging out, double digits.
Long ago.
10 or 11.
I've known you since kindergarten.
Me and you have known each other since the fucking womb.
Yeah, basically since birth. I don't remember a time where I wasn't friends with you, and that's special. But then also, you kind of went hiatus school wise, and I couldn't find you until high school.
Yeah, that's when I left school,
yeah.
and that's when me and you started hanging out.
Well, yeah, really, we knew each other, and then we really started playing those video games all the time.
Yeah,
that
which
was our
influences
thing.
everything we do now.
Yeah, played Terraria. We played that one Unturned.
Unturned was good.
That zombie game.
Left 4 Dead 2,
yeah,
Minecraft.
Those were the games back in the day. And it's good that those games are still
You've
booming.
looked at Back 4 Blood, haven't you?
No.
It is the perfect spiritual successor that's coming out for Left 4 Dead because it's the same team. It's just it's Left 4 Dead 3, but without the name, Left 4 Dead 3.
Hopefully we can all play that on the server. Maybe get Anna Caroline to play with
Oh,
us.
don't even give me the only fun fact. I don't play any video games whatsoever.
No, she doesn't. That's the one thing in our friendship that's neither
I'm an
one of
athlete. I like sports. I like watching sports. I like working in sports communications, even though that's not my actual major. But I do enjoy working in sports communication. But the only gaming console I've ever owned is a Nintendo DS or the Wii Generation 1, which is just collecting dust
which,
at
for the
this
record,
point.
fucking grandma had a Wii to play Wii Sports. Like, it's like...
I'll still play Wii Sports, though. Like,
I know.
Wii
There's
Tennis
like so much
is...
nostalgia.
Wii Tennis.
Honestly.
My favorite Wii game, though, actually, was they made an Olympic version of Club Penguin. And I kid you not, I was on that all day. Or they made a game version of Wipeout.
I am not.
And it was so much fun.
The Wii library is stupid. It's stupid large. Like, it's over It's like over 2,000 games.
It was going for like so long. Like their thing was
for comparison, the Wii U was like 200 games physical.
And the game that I disliked from the Wii, oddly enough, because you know how much like I love like the world of like Disney animation, Jim Henson Company, like that's something that we talk about a lot. Yeah, I didn't enjoy it. I'm
those
really
figures
upset.
Here somewhere. Dude, if you knew the amount of Skylander figures me and Niko have, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I never got into it.
I think that is where my love of collecting things originated, was that fucking console. Or was that game? Because it was just like, Oh, well, I mean,
that's a Pokemon reference. Also, I was thinking about the other day. Remember that time, John Michael, that we were rehearsing for a show and we thought that our theater teacher was playing Pokemon Go in the library parking lot?
No, we didn't think she was. She was.
Oh, she was. I was thinking about that the other day, and I was like dying laughing, like driving home.
Me and AC were in the same theater program all throughout high school.
Yeah.
It was me, you, and Jake. And so, like, of all the friends I've kept in touch with from there, I'm glad it was at least you two.
Yeah, we've been through a lot, and I think also we can thank theater for like reconnecting, because when you came back to high school, but I had already auditioned for the first show that we did, which was our spring of our sophomore year.
Yeah.
And it was about superheroes, but you knew everything about superheroes.
That's how me and Jake got into theater, was because they were putting a casting board. I don't know if I've told this story, but they were putting up a casting board for the superhero. So the tryouts had already been done.
I was already casted.
Yeah, you were already in it. But me and Jake walked by, and I think this is so stupid and nerdy, but we corrected something on the board that had to do with like Green Lantern or some shit. And the teacher looked at the theater director there, looked at it, was like, yeah, maybe we do need like fact checkers on like comic books and stuff. And me and Jake have been reading comics so long that like the fucking camera, the tripod's broke, so like it's sitting on a box of comics right now. We were so like versed in everything that we came onto the show. She was like, come, just make sure we're not saying anything blatantly wrong, and we'll give you like a small role for both of us. And then the show was massive. Like, the cast was massive.
I played about 6 or 7 different roles.
That's what happened. There was, like, 50 people in the initial casting, and by the end of it, it was 30. So, me, Jake, and AC, we all started that show with one role and left with, like, 4 to 6.
I'll tell you, one of my favorite roles I ever played, like, to this day, because I still do theater. That's one of my majors at university.
That's what we do.
Yeah, but, I was the Thing in Fantastic Four.
I forgot.
And that was my favorite, one of my all-time favorite roles, and I still, to this day, I talk about it. It's not on, like...
And when you were the Thing, you were, like, a puppet.
I was a puppet, and it was so awesome.
Of Ben Grimm.
I think that was, like, my star
stuff like that
role.
Is the reason me and Jake got cast, because, like, who else on that cast is going to know that Ben Grimm turns human one day out of the year? I can name maybe one
person who can. I think we might be thinking of the same person.
Yeah, probably. But, like, who else is going to, like, point out things like Ben Grimm, like, fun fact, he turns into a human one day out of the year, and he only ages for that one day.
But let me just say, that show
so he ages one day a year.
Just a weird show in general. Like, the Fantastic Four were doing a soap opera together.
It was a complete farce of
Wolverine
superhero culture.
was wearing a princess dress and getting owned by Disney.
Because I think No, Fox hadn't bought Disney by then. That was
No,
way
Disney
before that.
bought Fox.
Oh yeah, Fox. No, that wasn't happening yet though.
No.
That was years later.
Well, maybe they just predicted it. Like, you know how
I
the
think they
Simpsons
did.
predict everything?
I think that the whole bit was just like Disney-fying Wolverine because he's such like a brutal character. And like it's become a joke in the commentaries that like I just want to see Wolverine in the MCU.
That was a fun show, but I can tell you something that was more fun when we would do Rep.
Oh yeah.
That was, I think,
The summer theater.
Yeah,
That's
summer
when
theater.
it was a what, six
So it
six
was-
days a week?
it was, no, we
5
would
days
go 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and then when it was tech and actual, like, it was tech rehearsal and then actual performance week, you'd go 2 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
And it was for college credit, and we would do one Shakespeare show, and then they would call it a fun show. Like, my first year
Yeah.
that we did Treasure Island, and that was the fun show.
It was like one comedy and one serious thing.
Yeah.
So we did Around the World in 80 Days.
and then Julius
and
Caesar.
Julius Caesar.
'cause-
Where Jake was Julius Caesar and I narrated the show.
And I was Lucius, which I think was also a pretty good role to have in Julius Caesar.
That dude, all I remember about that show is the fact that like because I was narrating it, I was on stage from before the show started until after it was over.
All I remember really from that show.
And no Shakespeare show is short, for the record.
No. All I remember was being barefoot and being terrified that there was going to be a nail or a splinter in my foot by the end.
Well, yeah, because we were working like theater programs have a limited budget a lot of the time, so like a lot of what we were like the building materials for the set, especially because like the theme of that show that we did Julius Caesar in was in the style of Lord of the Flies. So
That's so cool.
it's the kingdom of the children and the conch shell and all that stuff, but it's the written dialogue from Julius Caesar. So what we were walking on was a lot of like pallets and broken shit. There is one thing I don't know if we can tell this story on the podcast. Future me, if you don't if you don't think I can cut this out, but the last night of that show,
I know what you're about to say.
After we had like it's tradition, strike the set, tear down the set so that you can move on and start working on the next show. That night, we had there was a cosplayer or somebody who was wanted to use a giant plane wing that we had for the show
in Lord of the Flies,
Lord of the Flies,
the plane
crash. And she wanted to use this as like a set piece, but the costume department or the set department would not let her take it, even though it was going to get trashed. And we trashed it. We threw it in the dumpster the last night of the show. So we were like, of course, like theater kids joke. It's like you always end up at a Denny's or a Waffle House or something after the last performance, because it's always like 1 a.m, and you're all like tired and hungry, and you just want food. So I feel like now I'm not gonna say I concocted it because this might technically be a crime, but I feel like someone concocted the idea to go and steal
the actual
the
person
plane
who
wing.
wanted the plane wing.
Yeah.
Was the one that came up with the idea.
We were like, well, they already let's just go steal it. And so we went back to the theater. We had and pulled it from the dumpster and had to put this like full-size plane wing from like a small like it was the size of like a what are they called, the ones that like are on water and then they or whatever.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking, but like
yeah,
like something Indiana Jones would have like flown out of at the beginning of Raiders.
It was like a little tiny like plane that could only fit like a couple people. Yeah. And what was so bad was it was a tilted platform, so it had legs. Yeah, but the legs wouldn't fit in that person's car.
It was the only thing preventing us from fitting it
so
in this Jeep.
So we took our feet and like
smashed
kicked it and like smashed the legs off. We broke the legs off. I think I took a prop too. I just can't remember what I took. I think I took part of the pizza boxes.
Yeah. I don't think we can get in trouble for that. Because like they
Not
threw
anymore.
It out.
It's too late.
It was also years ago.
It was
so
like fun fact.
Don't put a time limit on it. It's past the statute of limitation is what it was.
It was maybe like
we
graduated.
Don't do it.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
No, I'm thinking of the years in my head. I'm not going to say it out loud, but it's been a while. But fun fact,
we don't go there anymore,
I think it's in her. I think it's still in her backyard.
Is it really?
I think so.
I love that because I was so like, because that like also like the people in that made the thing wanted her to have it because it, like they put so much time and effort.
But also, that person, like the role that they played, they actually died like on that plane wing.
Yeah, they died on the plane wing.
They died.
What?
They
That's so
stabbed
ironic.
themselves on the plane wing. They stabbed themselves on the plane wing. Died on the plane wing.
Hold on.
Actually, I was the last person alive.
Speaking of Shakespeare, hold on.
Have mercy.
One of the things Jake has that I was super jealous of him for was a complete works of William Shakespeare, like this giant tome novel that was the complete works of William Shakespeare. Now, to get back at him, I bought the complete works of Edgar Allan Poe, which is much more my speed, you know, because it's macabre and cool. But I did end up getting, it's in 2 books, the complete works of William Shakespeare, volume 1 and 2. Actually, I have 3. I think it's 3 volumes. It's a lot.
Edgar Allan Poe is definitely much darker than Shakespeare.
Yeah, that's more my speed, I think. Like, if we had to put me and Jake as, like, on a pedestal of, like, what writers, I think, like, it's closer.
And I like more of the, like, contemporary theatrical works, like the show, I have the play script of The Swing of the Sea.
Now, I will say Jake loves Tennessee Williams.
Of course he does.
Like, that, that's his speed. That's also, like, there's so much. We did so much in such a short period of time, not only from in school, but out of school, that, like, me and Jake tried to put it together of how many shows we had done, and we just, it was too many. It was too many to put into words, you know? And just think about, like, some of the roles that we got to do, like, it made me realize that, like, I think I'm very grateful for, like, a lot of, like, the opportunities.
And
like, narrating like, Shakespeare, freaking, being the young Scrooge and the nephew for A Christmas Carol, you know, getting to do those, play completely different types of characters and really test my range. I think it did prepare me, even the fundamentals of theater, which is how we got here, which is like me and her were trained to be able to project into to an audience, or in this case into a microphone, like it translated, and I think it prepared me for what we do, like the kind of stuff we make now with Matt and everybody. So when I give you shit about it, it's just because I'm so used to working with people who had to spend at least 1 year just building the fundamentals. Not mentioning if you take extra dialogue courses or accent work or whatever.
Yeah, it's like ingrained in you, and like you seeing me not do that is like hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, why? What the?
It's hard to process.
yeah, and even like being a kid, I did like the children's theater here, and I did children's theater. I was like in The Little Mermaid Junior, Beauty and the Beast Junior, but then I stopped because, like, fun fact, I'm also a dancer. Like, I competed a lot. I was at competitions and shows every weekend.
Can you still dance, like, with your knee and
Yeah,
shit?
I can. I'm not a great turner anymore. I'm not like great at like doing consistent turns, but I still can.
There's a dance I want us to do. I think me and Matt want to do it for a TikTok. We want to do the eye to eye from a Goofy movie.
Oh yeah, that choreography.
Because that movie's fucking awesome. I don't care. Like, that is like one of the best Disney films.
I mean, I prefer the second one.
An extremely goofy movie.
I prefer the second one. I don't know why. I have more nostalgia with the second one than I do with the first one.
I think that movie hits, like, I think it hits guys really hard. Like, I asked a lot.
I have to say, I don't remember this movie. What?
A Goofy movie? It's where
Yeah,
Max and Goofy go out on, like, a vacation thing, and it's like a father-son,
It's like a
coming
road
of age
trip.
story.
But he wants to go to California.
Yeah, he wants to go to California because he told the girl he likes that he was gonna be on stage at, like, this
Power
like, power line.
line.
It was like a Prince Michael Jackson mashup.
He was actually, you know what's so funny? I watched this YouTuber who does these things called Down to Disness, and it's basically the backstory.
That's a good name.
Yeah, and it's these like popular like about like everyone's favorite like popular movies. She's done Toy Story, Finding Nemo, which is more my speed. I'm more of a Pixar person, but she did a Goofy movie, and was based on Prince, Michael Jackson, and one other person. But it was, I don't know, it's very interesting because so Goofy was trying to go to Idaho?
It was
Idaho.
yeah.
What
I think it was
interesting.
Washington.
Or somewhere.
It was something.
Somewhere with a big body of water to go
Yeah, it was a
fishing in.
lake. He just wanted to go fishing.
I think it was
Okay.
Lake Destiny.
It was. I don't know. It might not have been a real place. Like this is like a Disney thing.
Yeah, but he wanted
And that
to go
movie's
see
got like an
Powerline.
extreme, like one of the most extreme cult followings I've seen in a bit. Like it's up there with like Scott Pilgrim and shit.
You know what I wish had a better cult following?
What?
Big Hero 6.
Oh, do not
It
get
does. What do you
No,
mean?
it does
It
not
does.
have that big of a cult following.
do not get Jake started on that movie. He fucking hates that movie.
What?
No.
Why?
That's
He
one of my
really
favorites.
hates it.
Now,
Why?
I know one of your least favorite movies that I'm not going to even hop on the
It's on the
bandwagon
shelf.
about.
It's right there.
Is it
I
the
don't
one that
know
I'm
if that-
thinking about?
What is it?
Right there. Fucking The Cat in the Hat.
Yeah.
Michael
he
Myers.
hates the Michael
I
Myers
fucking hate that
Cat
movie
in the
with a
Hat.
passion.
Now,
Michael Myers, Cat in the Hat.
I
Wait,
love it.
Or Mike Myers. The
Like-
Austin Powers. Not the
Okay.
serial killers.
Not the
I
serial killer.
thought- I was
So
like,
it's like a
hold on.
live action
What?
version of the children's book by
We've got a whole
Dr.
podcast.
Seuss.
Yeah, you remember how Jim
Oh,
Carrey
I
did the
know.
live action version of A Grinch?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
imagine
No,
that,
don't
but
even.
I've
worse.
seen- no, I've seen that.
I
I remember that.
hate that one. I
I
prefer
hate
the Cat in the
I
Hat.
hate that movie too. But Cat in the Hat is easily way worse because at least Jim Carrey like could act.
Do you prefer Horton Hears a Who though? Like the animated Horton Hears a
I
Who?
hate every Dr. Seuss movie they've
I
made.
hate the Lorax.
Lorax is bad. We're gonna get shot for saying that, but yeah, Lorax is bad. Horton Hears the Who is meh at best. The Benedict Cumberbatch Grinch is also meh at best.
No, I was working. I worked at a movie theater all throughout high school, and I worked the Grinch. The only good thing about it was its end credit song.
That's true.
I like the end credit song, but
I
see,
love
working
that.
at a movie, you realize that some of the end credit things are the best. Like when Ralph Breaks the Internet came out, and Julia
That was a good
Michaels.
movie.
It was a really good movie, but the end credit song was the best part. In my honest opinion, because we would belt sing Julia Michaels' Slaughter Race,
Yeah.
At the-
I mean,
like cleaning the theater, and it was like one of my greatest memories of high school.
no,
honestly.
like a lot of movies have.
Yeah, you do get Rickrolled at the end. If you stay for the end credit scene, you get Rickrolled.
Oh,
You could have stayed. We'll watch it.
let's watch
You
it
can get
right
Rickrolled.
now. Let's turn
But
it on.
no, working at the movie theater was a great experience.
How long did you work there?
I
Or,
worked
like,
there,
when did you
like-
start, I guess.
I worked there for about 3 years. So
Oh,
like
damn.
in high school, and then I left when COVID happened. We had to shut down, and we like couldn't go back for a while. So then I started working at a diner.
Yeah, no, I'll cut all that out because I also.
It's fun to see. Do it in sign language. Nobody knows what I'm saying. Sign language is a great thing. I don't
No,
even
there's
know
gonna
what
be a
Y
hard
is.
cut there because not only do we have to cut out everything you just said, but also I had to plug the camera in because that was about
So,
to die. I
Work-
legitimately it was plugged in, but only one. It was in the power strip like one thing on and one outside of it.
So since we had to cut
'Cause I was
out,
doing it
can I
blind.
make my argument I was talking about earlier before the camera and the podcast
You're about
was
to see
rolling?
why we're friends because she's about to go off on a movie like the same way I do.
Okay. Out of all the teen, so are we cutting out where my first job was?
No, we'll leave. I'm just gonna bleep some shit probably.
Okay. I worked at a movie theater for a long time back in high school, and I absolutely loved it. And so I'd
Yeah.
get in these tangent
It's a good job for a
arguments.
teen.
Oh, loved it. Would never regretted a day in my life working there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to argue, out of all the YA teen dystopian novels that were made into movies, the Hunger Games franchise needs more of a cult following, okay? I understand that when we were in middle school and high school, it had a cult following.
It's because it's kind of died over.
Ow.
Oh God. It's kind of died over time.
Do you have Catching Fire? Thank you. See, Catching Fire,
Here's Mockingjay. Have fun.
you only have part 1 though.
Yes, I do. I need to.
You need part 2.
I do need not part 2.
So, okay,
I am missing one installment in the.
the Hunger Games franchises
Listen, you see how much
have
shit is up
such
here.
a great backstory, okay? Having, like,
Here's the thing. No one's gonna
America-
disagree with you that like it's the best of the teen dystopian like genre, but that bar was also like low enough I could step over it. You know.
Oh, Divergent set that bar extremely low.
Like we had Maze Runner, we had fucking The Fifth Wave, we had fucking.
I didn't even see The Fifth Wave.
I didn't see the movie. I read the book. It was not great.
Yeah, I also read the book and was just
not
like,
great.
But see,
Like we had Maze.
Hunger Games books, never read them. Did I enjoy the movies?
Runner,
Absolutely.
fucking like I own too many movies.
Divergent, awful. Maze Runner, didn't see it. Splitting America up into actually 13 districts. If you've watched all the movies, you would know it's not just 12 districts, it's 13 districts.
Fucking read them.
Have you seen all of them?
No, but I think I knew that. So
Yeah. So
It's like the end of the second movie.
split into 13 districts. You have each district making something specifically to go to the capital. Okay, that's where all the rich people live. They live in the capital. Okay, and they're
gonna go
dressed up. You know, Elizabeth Banks is playing
I'll
Effie
give you this.
Trinket.
I love it when they go batshit insane with costume design, and that movie does it great.
Catching a dress on fire.
That was kind of
CGI animation fire on the bottom of Katniss Everdeen's dress. Like, are you freaking kidding me right now? And then also, I like the love triangle, but she ends up marrying the guy that everyone wanted her to marry anyways, which makes it 20 times better. But like, kids killing kids because they have to for the Capitol's
Why was it always children killing
entertainment?
other children? Like in every one of those books, it's just kids, children. Like, can we not
been
have
like adults?
But sometimes you're not even rooting for the main character. You're rooting for the kid that like is the most innocent.
Yeah.
Like Rue.
Like I like the idea of the Hunger Games in concept of like this. Like it does go a little crazy with like with the toppling of governments stuff, but like the first like. I will say that hand me that first movie. The first movie does something great with its shot composition.
You got your collection.
Yeah. The first movie does something great with its shots where the entire first half the movie is shot just normal, but when she goes up into the in through the elevator and it has the white bars like going by to simulate like an elevator movement and stuff. In the transition from one of those white bars to blackness to another white bar, it switches to IMAX and the rest of the movie is shot in IMAX. That's fucking genius. That's a great transition.
But also the technology that they have
When did this movie come out?
so interesting.
Like I love it
I'm
when
curious
IMAX
that
has
came
to
out with
be
her
like
like her dress that was on fire, because that was probably like really good for its time.
It was like in the
maybe.
2000. It has to be like at least 2010.
Sorry, everybody. Hey, Google, when did the Hunger Games come out?
In the United States of America, The Hunger Games was released on March 23rd, 2012.
And then Catching
March
Fire
20
came out at 2013.
Yeah, 2012. Also, I know for a fact that the mic over there was picking up that speaker better than you. Because
Better than me.
It was.
Stop being mean to him. He's doing the best he
I'm
can.
speaking.
I fix it. You're picking up fine now.
Am I picking up
Yeah,
okay?
you're fine. You're both fine. As long as we're in like that green to yellow range, we're fine.
Also, I feel like that Google speaker is like louder than all of us.
It's not that loud. It's also across the room.
But you know what's so great is how the second movie, they're basically like, you know what? Since it's the 75th anniversary, we're just gonna have all the people that were trying to kill each other first try to kill each other again.
I do like that's a good sequel plot.
It's great.
Like I have nothing. But here's where it goes awry. Is those next two movies, the
Mockingjays.
That's where everything for me is like, all right, we've strayed. Like
No, she's the reason why everybody else is rebelling on the Capitol. She is the Mockingjay. That's why it's called Mockingjay. She basically pissed off
don't yell at me like
everybody
I
in
haven't
the
seen it. I've seen-
Capitol.
Yeah, don't yell.
I'm
plot
arguing
details.
why it's like one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, but like also that genre was
You
huge.
definitely need to sit down and like watch these movies.
That
By the
genre.
way.
Have you not seen any of them?
I kind of want to. No, I have.
Oh,
I've seen all of
so
them, but like I just
good.
want to rewatch them now.
Yeah.
Because we're just talking about
Oh.
them. And it's been so long since I've watched them. Like it'll kind of just be like watching it for the first time because it's been so long.
I wouldn't
So many
recommend
years.
them
There's
for
definitely
children.
well, but also that genre, like that like young dystopian type deal, did later was also like it spawned a whole lot of B movies, which is what I'm great about. I love that shit.
B-movie.
Not
The
it's
B
a,
movie.
It's a term. It's a term. It's not just the Jerry Seinfeld thing. But it, like a lot
Yellow,
of
black, yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, black.
There was a lot of, like-
black and yellow.
there was a lot of
I've seen like a 12-minute video of like them like what is it like?
Every time they say B,
Yeah,
it speeds
yeah. Sorry.
up.
that genre spawned a whole lot of like post-apocalyptic, like teenage, like
There's a
and
new
shit.
movie coming out about escape rooms, which looks pretty legit. I mean,
I don't know.
Haven't they already had one that came out?
I have
about
no
escape rooms?
clue.
Listen, the escape room.
It was like that one where like she goes. Into
I'm
the thing
shocked
and
there
gets really
hasn't
hot or
been.
whatever,
You
and-
could tell me that there's been an
I think I know what you're
escape
talking
room
about.
horror film already planned out or like made, and I would believe you.
Yeah,
It
no,
does
there
seem like
already-
one of
there
those
already was
things
one
they
out.
would
You're talking about the
saw.
one where like that guy kind of like falls through the ice and.
I haven't seen
That one's already been out for like.
I'm
think a
talking about the
while.
one where it's coming out and they're in like a subway, like a New York City
Oh, then
subway,
I don't know that
and the
one, yeah.
train like stops and then they have to escape like the New York City subway. But then a bunch of I guess they escape because then they go to a whole nother. It's based in New York City. Like nobody
That's
else is
really
in New York
cool.
City except for them.
Ooh, that's really awesome.
I know, it sounds really cool. But then
like that.
also a movie that I want to go see that I'm afraid is not going to be good is Dear Evan Hansen
Yeah,
movie form
I have
coming
no desire
September.
to see that.
Ben Platt, let me just tell you, I love Ben Platt. I love what he did for Evan himself in the original Broadway cast. But we gotta stop casting adults as teenagers.
Yeah, that is a thing that like. But we've been like Hollywood's been doing that shit for like at least like since fucking Reefer Madness. You know.
Yeah, but there's like an age limit. I feel like some people.
Have you
just, like, are
seen-
really
have
too
you-
old
have
to
you
be
seen
in
the
a
original-
teenager movie?
The first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man
Of
recently.
course.
Everyone on that bus in that movie is like at least 29, 30 maybe. Because
Also, like, Tom Holland is... How old is Tom Holland? He's, like, in his 20s.
20.
yeah, he's like no, he's like 22 or something.
He's playing a
23.
16-year-old.
Hey Google, how old is Tom Holland?
25 years old.
25.
Whoa.
That's up there. That's not up there, but that's for playing
But
a
he
teenager.
definitely like.
he
looks-
probably... I feel like he gets, like...
He
he
looks
has
young,
to get
though.
facials or something to, like, keep his skin super
I mean, like,
pimpleless, poreless, young looking.
Yeah, he looks very young.
I think that's just genetics. So
I'll tell you who
like,
the fuck
truly.
is like been blowing up lately, and I'm super down for it because she's a great actress. Is fucking Zendaya. Like
She's been
everything
blowing
I've
up for
seen
a
her in
long
lately has
time.
been fucking bomb.
She is playing... Oh, you know who she's playing coming up? The new adaptation of Space Jam. She's Lola Bunny.
what?
Yes.
Man, that
Yay.
movie looks awful.
I mean, it does.
I
look
want to
awful, but
go
that's
see
cool.
it, though.
Yeah, listen, at this point, like we've spent a year inside. I will go see any movie in theaters. I will go see any movie.
Would you go see In the Heights with Anthony Ramos and
I don't give a shit.
Ariana Grande?
Last movie I saw in theaters was
Ariana
fucking
Grande,
Birds of
what?
Prey.
I love Ariana Grande.
I forgot she acts.
Birds of Prey
sometimes.
was awful. I fell
It,
asleep.
it was pretty bad. It was not great, but it wasn't.
Now let me just tell you, the first like 20 minutes when she's getting like that breakfast sandwich is the highlight of. That's all I remember from the movie is that breakfast sandwich scene.
See, that's the part of the movie I think I hated it probably the most because I'm like, is this the bit? Is this where we are for 20 minutes?
I loved it because that's the only thing I remember, and I fell asleep the rest of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was still at school when that movie came out,
Mhm.
and then we all shut down like right after that movie.
Yeah. We were,
So
yeah.
I haven't seen. So the most recent movie I've seen is A Quiet Place Part 2, and me and you were
I haven't
recently
seen it
talking
yet.
about
A
it.
Quiet Place.
It is so good because it gives you that backstory that we needed in the first one.
I think we needed a lot of backstory in the first
Some
one.
people did. I went with somebody who hadn't even
Listen,
seen the first one.
Well, yeah, you're saying like they built like that backstory, and so
Yeah.
then you could just like.
Yeah.
Well, it is
put
a
all of
sequel,
it.
right?
It is.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
434 days after
Okay.
the
The
extraterrestrial
here's my
life
thing
form
with A Quiet
struck
Place.
down.
Do I have it up here?
I love it.
It's here, I think.
I love it.
Here's my thing with A Quiet Place. That movie is fantastic when no one says anything. And the second anyone starts talking in that movie, it's awful.
Here's the thing about me. I don't
Like,
really
the-
like
the
horror
actual
movies, and I won't
dialogue-
run away peeing myself because I know what's about to happen.
The actual dialogue in that movie is terrible. Like when they're at the waterfall and stuff, but like all the other stuff is great.
You're talking about the first movie?
Yeah, the first movie.
You know what
I haven't
movie
seen
I
the second one
refuse
yet.
to see though?
What?
I refuse to see anything having to do with Pennywise the Clown.
Oh, that I actually really enjoyed those
The It
movies, but
movies?
it is a little bit frightening. Like the second one, actually was like towards the end was just kind of like. Oh, sorry, I'm talking to Mike. The second one was kind of like.
It
I don't know
was
how to
not a
say it,
horror
like-
movie. It
Yeah,
was
the
a
end of
fucking-
it was like really just.
Well,
I've seen
okay,
scenes.
all right. Here's some hot fucking takes. First of all, Stephen King's It, not a great book. If I'm being real, it's the
I've
size
heard
of a dirt.
opposite.
I mean, like I feel like the way that
there
he
are some
wrote
things in
his
that
stuff-
book that were not in the movies
Yeah.
that are
Yeah.
just so.
Well, you can't.
Ungodly,
you
inappropriate.
can't put like the fucking orgy scene. You can't do that in the fucking movie. But like,
You could, but it'd be hard R then.
Yeah.
like past R, like
But,
what is that one?
Sausage Party was hard R.
Yeah.
That is an experience.
But like
that was a good movie
a
actually.
lot of Stephen King
That was
stuff.
hilarious.
It's so 50-50 because either his stuff is really really good, like The Shining, or like fucking.
It's just like adaptations to like what he writes because he
Yeah,
writes really good.
and it really
but,
depends
like,
on the book because
the way
like,
you adapt it. Is,
even his books are 50-50 on like what's like the Mist is real bad. I do not like that book.
Have you read Pet Cemetery?
I haven't read Pet Sematary.
The second, so I haven't actually seen the first adaptation of A Pet Cemetery, but I've seen the second one because I was actually still working at the theater when that came out.
Mm-hmm.
And backstory, at the place I worked at, you could go for free and take a friend when you were off of work. And I saw it. It was bad. I didn't enjoy it, and I don't like scary movies, and I wasn't even that scared. The person I took was more scared than I was.
A scary movie doesn't.
It wasn't. There wasn't like much to be scared about though. Like
What
it
needs
was just
to
kind of like
have-
suspenseful. Sorry,
No.
it was more suspenseful than anything.
I think a good scary movie. I think it has to have the story first, so that your characters, or that you feel for the characters. You want them to either like you want to be able to relate to them, and so when something happens to them, it's more scary for you. So you have to be able to insert yourself, or at least sympathize with your characters, and also you need a decent story wrapped around this, and it's not just like it's not just gore like the Saw movies, or just like jumpy scares or some shit, or like
The Saw movies make me nauseous.
it's like
Oh my god.
like we fucking hell. Jeez.
Yeah, COVID. Like
No, I'm good. I'm vaccinated. What was I talking about? Oh, horror
you
movies.
were
Talking about horror movies.
Yeah, and, like,
Like,
gore.
when it comes
it's, like,
down
you don't
to
wanna have-
like The Exorcist, pretty scary movie, but like if I didn't really care about what like the story and stuff, what was going on in it, I wouldn't be afraid whatsoever in it.
Now, I will say, I only sympathized with one scene of The Nun.
I haven't seen that
The
yet.
Nun. I love the Conjuring universe. Have you watched like all?
I
of the
haven't
Conjuring?
watched all of
'Cause
the Conjuring
That's within like the
universe.
Conjuring universe, right? Like all
I'm
those,
so
like-
scared to go see the third one.
There's a third.
They
Nun?
just came. No, third Conjuring.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
the-
yeah, I saw the.
It's
I saw
on
the new
HBO
one.
Max right now.
Yeah, we could literally just watch it. Right
I
now.
would literally
It's-
cry myself to sleep.
No, but like fun fact, like not not really a spoiler, but it's not really that scary. Like truly, it's not. Like it's more like they build like suspense. It's more like a thriller, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it truly, like I watched it and I was like, wow, like of all their movies, this is definitely like the least scary because they just wanted to focus on like their story rather than like actually scaring you. Though
I've
it did
seen
have
the
its jump
first
scares.
Annabelle, and that one wasn't that scary to me.
No,
It's weird to me
no,
that
but oh my god, the Annabelle creation, like the
second one?
second one or the third one, yeah, it is
I
frightening.
think the second one's called Annabelle
Oh.
Creation. The third one's called Annabelle Comes Home.
Yeah, I've watched all of them. I've watched the whole Conjuring universe. I
It's
forget
weird.
like exactly, but my favorite of all the Conjuring is Annabelle Creation because like it's super scary. Like we should honestly all sit down and watch that. I recommend it to like everybody on the stream.
I'll do it.
It's so good. It is.
I will run
so
away
good.
and hide in the corner.
Like they built like the story so well and like the setting of it and like all the characters. It's like such a good movie. Like it's definitely one of my like favorite movies ever.
I think it's weird to me that Annabelle has become the synonymous creepy doll because like for years it was Chucky and now it's Annabelle.
Well, Annabelle's based off of
Child's
like an actual
Play
real
wasn't
doll.
Yeah.
shit. Child's Play was awful.
It's fucking Mark Hamill though.
It's
That's
so
dope.
funny though. But you know what movie doesn't get enough hype that I think needs to get enough hype?
What?
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
No, that movie gets all the hype that it needs.
It does get a ton of hype.
It
I
does
don't
get all of it.
see that much
no,
hype
it
though.
gets every bit of it, and
I
Well, it
love
got it.
that movie.
It got it when it like came out, and it still has a bit of a
it still
following,
has it.
you know,
like
any
everyone agrees
movie.
that like it's a great movie. Listen, I
Yeah.
have actual
soundtrack.
problems with points in that
The
movie
soundtrack.
that like I have a few unpopular opinions about that movie. I don't
what?
think it's
Porky.
no
is it
Spider-Ham's great.
Spider-Ham.
Yeah, Spider-Ham's great.
Peter Porky. Is that his name?
Peter Porker.
Peter Porker.
No, my problems with that movie come on an animation basis, and like I may have talked about.
What?
There's some real frame rate issues with that movie, like actual.
But that's
bad.
just like nitpicking. I feel
You're
like.
Not
too
for
picky.
me because I went to school for this shit, or I'm going to school for this shit. So like that's the kind of stuff that like is front and center in my head when I'm watching these movies.
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
Says
We're
the
just
guy
talking
who
about,
also
like,
doesn't like the live action Aladdin.
Okay, yeah, because every live action adaptation is dog shit.
No, do not hate Will Smith as the genie.
He was fine,
Yeah,
but
Will
like
Smith as a genie was
Now
pretty,
let me just
pretty
say
fire.
that Jasmine song that they had
completely
did not.
pointless.
It was completely pointless. Everything else was pretty good. I like how they said.
Let's pretend for a minute. Let's pretend for a minute that we've got okay. Let's take fucking Macbeth. We got Macbeth. It's how long do you think it would take us to do that entire show, like the full thing, like what, a couple hours, 3 hours,
2 to
3
3 hours
is the
max.
show, right? Yeah. Now let's imagine that we start just inserting a bunch of shit to make it like 4.5 hours, because that's what they've done with every adaptation. Like I haven't seen Cruella yet, and I've heard that one's decent.
Oh,
I don't
people say
really
it's,
wanna
like,
see
People say
it.
it was amazing. Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
I've
People
heard that
have,
one
like,
was better.
really said it was so good.
But like Mulan, awful.
Haven't seen it.
Awful.
Yeah.
Lion King, also pretty bad.
That one was bad. I didn't enjoy that one. I actually, you know which ones I have enjoyed though? The Maleficent.
Maleficent was fine because it did new shit. Like it wasn't just.
What
like,
about Cinderella? Have you seen the adaptation of Cinderella that came out a few years ago?
I've seen parts of it. I didn't finish
Oh, yeah.
it.
Beautiful.
Like it's fine, but like we had a good Cinderella back.
I agree. I feel like sticking to animations is like definitely like
Yeah.
what they should do,
'Cause
and maybe
that's-
even like give sequels to like those
Or
animations
if
that are
you
like
desperately
you know,
want to do a live
modern.
action movie, just write a fucking new script. Like it's not hard. Like there's so many freaking fairy tales. Like just pick a new one. You're Disney. Your whole thing is that you pull shit from the public domain.
Well, they're
and
doing
make
a
it
live
your
action
own
Little
so that you
Mermaid.
can crash off
Yeah.
it. That listen, if they stay true to like the grim fairy tale of that shit, it like I'm so I would
Where
be so
she
happy.
turns to sea foam and die.
Yeah, where like she gets her
She-
fucking tail cut
doesn't she
off and
kill
all that
herself or
shit. Like
something?
if you
No,
do that
in
shit,
the Grimm's fairy tale adaptation of The Little Mermaid, she's either has to have the prince fall in love with her. She doesn't turn back into a mermaid. She turns into sea foam and just dies.
Yeah. Like let's
Goes into the
let's
ocean.
scar some children again. Let's do
No, let's not scar children. We actually, back in high school, actually changing topics, John Michael and I did scar some children with some haunted houses.
that. We did. We put
That
on,
was some
we would put on
fun.
ha-
I'm telling
we
you.
would put on haunted
I
houses
used
for
to do
charity.
that too.
And it was an
love it.
active
Yeah.
toll on my mental health because of how much work I had to put into it. Just saying.
I used to do that too at my church.
Like
just-
she can contest. I worked my ass off.
It
on
was
those
so
things.
funny. To
It
just,
was so much fun.
Yeah, just like see people's reactions and just scare the heck out of them.
That's where I really started making props and stuff again. Like that
Yeah.
was for those things. That's where I kind of fell in
That's
love with
how
it.
I learned how to make props for going into college. I made props for one show.
And like the cougar gloves right behind you. I don't know if it's on camera, but like the
Yeah.
one I made for that thing, yeah. Like the camera can't see it, but the ranger armor up there too. I made not for that, but I made it a couple years after for a shoot we did.
Wasn't I Annabelle in one of the houses when we did like horror movie themes? I was Annabelle.
You were Annabelle?
I think
You were something. I don't think you were. You were
Our first year we did a circus
you were
room
like
and
a
I was a
circus.
contortionist.
yeah.
But then we did a horror movie theme and I was supposed to be Annabelle.
yeah, that got canceled
Yeah.
because
Oh yeah.
I don't want to get into that because also I don't want to put people on blast. But like, it was a lot of work putting those things on, and it was a charity thing. Like it was like four like other schools' theater programs, wasn't it? Like middle schools and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were high schoolers, and then the middle schoolers would come through it. And let me tell you, pulling those kids' ankles as the contortionist was some of the best things I could have ever done. But I remember I literally fell on my shoulder blades and screamed bloody murder. And someone came out and was like, "Good acting." I was like, "No, actually, I'm in a lot of pain."
No, I did a mad scientist thing because this was back when my hair like wasn't as long and it was still going out instead of down. So we just, boom.
I remember those days.
I think
that was fun.
That was real blunder year shit. I think it was the second group that went through. Someone came in and was like, "All right, you got to tone it down because children are crying." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, scar your children."
I just like grabbed. I remember Jake was a voodoo guy.
He was,
and me and him had a backstory. He
straight up was the dude from The Princess and the Frog.
By the way, fantastic movie, but. Yeah. I remember we came up with this whole backstory, Jake and I, and kind of scared the children. Mm-hmm. Not gonna lie. Scared the children.
All right, coffee's done.
Did you enjoy it?
I did.
What flavor is it?
It was black. Just straight black coffee. He didn't put anything in it.
I forgot about that.
You realize how much of a caffeine dependency I've been living off of for the past 5 years.
I work around coffee all day, and it's just like I see some people get just black coffee, and it's just
I want to know the weirdest drink that's ever been ordered with you.
I don't know. Like I haven't had like super. I have like some that I've seen, like that is like have so many things inside of it, like 5 bananas. It was like it's a blended drink.
I want to know how you fit 5 bananas in a drink.
You guys know like frappuccinos, right?
Yeah.
So they're like. So what we do is we just get like a bunch of syrup, ice, blend it, send it out. It's like a frappuccino.
This is how you.
And this guy wanted in his frappuccino, he wanted 5 whole bananas in there. He wanted like
I guess
all
you could
this,
cut
all
them
pumps
up.
of this, all these. Yeah, but it's still 5 bananas, which like in itself blended would just like take up so much of like.
Just from a mass perspective.
Yeah, and then like he wanted like so many different things, and it's just like insane, like with people. Also, it's just like sometimes because like we can hear everything over the headsets. If you have a headset on, you can hear people ordering. It's just like really funny. I don't know. Today somebody like so you have like size called Trenta, which is our extra large.
That's what I get every time I go to Starbucks.
Some lady said
Trenta
Trienta, and I started laughing.
You wanted a what?
A Trienta.
A Trienta.
And I was like, okay.
That sounds like Spanish.
Every single time I go to Starbucks, or any coffee shop, it's a Trenta Black cold brew. As I say that, they're like, sweet, that's it.
Yeah. And
it's also like
so easy.
It's like the size of my head. Like it's a big drink.
Yeah, a Trenta cold brew. It's literally just we pour the cold brew and we give it to you.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Exactly.
Like, it's so easy. Like,
I don't want to put any retail
have, like,
or
such complicated orders. It's like insane. Are you really tasting all of this that you're putting in there?
Listen, I've worked retail. Like, I don't want to put any like restaurant worker in any kind of like. I order the simple. Here's how I work at restaurants. Like I think I'm the reverse of a Karen. Because here's the thing: if you brought me like a wrong meal at a restaurant, I'm not saying shit. I'm just gonna eat it as long as it won't kill me.
Same.
We have so many Karens. We have so many. Okay, let me tell you about this Karen at my store. Okay,
is this the one you told me about the other day?
This could be. Am I allowed to say this? I don't know.
Do you want to be fired? You're fine.
Okay.
They won't see this.
Yeah.
Unless they Google your name.
Yeah. Okay. So pretty much this lady like came in and she's like, "Can I have a tall pipe pour over with 2% milk?" And they were like, "Okay, we'll do that." Tall is like our small, but like a pour over like kind of takes a bit because you have to get like coffee and a little
it's
thing,
the type of thing I would
like,
never order because it takes too much
water, let it go down. Like it takes a little bit, and so like we did that for her, and then like because this wasn't me, but I was kind of like seeing this from the sidelines in a way. But like the girl handed it to her, she's like, "Oh, the coffee's too cold. Like put the milk in there," and she was like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "Can you remake it? I want it hotter." And
it's also
like, really?
90
like,
something
you
degrees
wanted,
outside.
Yeah, well, this was like a month ago, but whatever. But like she wanted milk
Still
in
hot.
there, and that will cool it down. Like, and we don't have more milk, unless you like steam the milk.
Mm-hmm.
And so like what we did next was we steamed the milk and then we put it in there. She said, well, while you were steaming the milk, the coffee got too cold because it was just sitting there before you poured the milk in. And so like we had to go back and do another pour over and like
just stick that shit in a microwave.
She was like making everybody like run in circles, and she was like literally just doing it to do it and just be a jerk, be a Karen. And my ship supervisor like just hands her like another one of them, and she's like, actually, I want my receipt. And it's like, not my receipt, my refund, sorry. And then we're like, okay. So she goes and gets her refund, and she's like, I also want a recovery card. And a recovery card's like $4 off your next like purchase at Starbucks,
which is basically free.
You hand it over at Starbucks. I don't know, but like, yeah, but
my
like,
drink isn't
it's
that
like a gift card.
That's the great thing.
But it's pretty much like a gift card.
That's a tier of friendship, is when you know each other's
Starbucks your Starbucks order. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one's mine, John Michael? I think you might know.
Chai tea latte.
Oh yes.
Yes.
My ice. I like my iced chai tea latte.
Yes,
but in the winter, just a hot white chocolate mocha. That's it.
I get that.
I don't care. I don't care what kind of type of year it is. Black cold brew. That's what I'm doing.
And
it's not because I have some kind of coffee security.
She says that she wants
drink whatever you want.
She says that she wants a recovery card, and that's like, you know, like furnish like a $4 gift card for free. And my supervisor was like, no, like we're not doing that today, because like she was literally like being just the most extra and obnoxious person. And you don't get a recovery card when you're like that. Like you get it when like something's truly wrong with your drink. She was just like saying like, oh, it's too cold, it's too that, just to like make people like do whatever she wanted, and just like, you know, express her power of like the customer's always right kind of stuff. It's just like what we really value.
I don't care where I'm
value
working.
that at Starbucks, and so like she knows that, and so she like she didn't get a recovery card. She's like, okay, well then what's your manager's number? And he's like, it's right here. And she was like, okay, I'm gonna call her. And like, what's your name? Jason. She's like, okay, Jason, well you have a nice day. And he was like, you too. She was like, yeah. As she like walked out, she was like so mad.
I love it when people say have a nice day in the inflection of fuck you.
Yeah,
it's like, have a nice day.
And then I had her come in like the other day, and like she wanted the same thing, and I was like, oh my god, like she does this a lot, and it's just like, so like, is your life really that boring that you have to do all of this stuff?
You really have no control of anything.
Like, she's so like literally, I don't know, like weird, and like
there's a word for
you
this.
You have to have
Karen.
Something to do
than
like that in your life.
I'm fully on board for Karen shaming. These people are batshit insane. Just say no. I hate the mentality.
We can't at Starbucks.
I'm fully on board. I completely despise the customer's always right attitude. I would if I was being an ass, I would here's the thing. I can't deal with fake niceties that like employees are forced to do. I can't do it. It gets on my it's my pet peeve. I would much rather I go into a restaurant, and we live on the lower half of the states. So like there's like the hospitality that has to be everywhere.
Yeah.
I would much rather have like the New York attitude where it's like what do you want? Okay, I want this.
Then
okay,
go to Myrtle Beach and go
out.
to the like Dick's restaurant where they actually have to be like a jerk to you.
Yeah.
It's so much fun to go to though.
Exactly. Like I wish I could just have that interaction everywhere. Like if every I can't do.
It's like at Starbucks, like it's kind of like we have to, and then like it ends up not being so fake because like you've kind of like actually gotten that bond with the person, and so you can literally just talk about whatever. But at first, like you have to be like,
you told me that like they have to like strike up a conversation with you, which is dumb. But like they've never done that for me. That's part of the reason my coffee order is so simple. You don't have time to strike up a conversation.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you.
It's like
give me my coffee.
Cold brew was
I will leave.
Like the cold brew and ice, and then you're gone. Like you definitely haven't had time for that.
Nope.
If you had like 4 different frappuccinos,
not doing it. Nope.
That's because we only have 2 blenders, and like that will take forever. You will probably have a conversation with somebody, which you would hate.
I
so
walk
it's a good thing
through
you don't
retail stores. Now we not during COVID, but like I will walk through a retail store. Headphones are in. I'm not talking to anyone. I am getting my thing and I am leaving. I don't do
You don't have time for that?
I look at the ground. I'm like, looking at my shoes.
If I need something, I'll ask. But if not, I do my
Need help with
best.
anything?
I do my... Because I understand that you're getting paid, like, minimum fucking wage, an unlivable wage, and you have to deal with assholes all day long. And I'm not about that. I'm not about to contribute to why you hate your job.
See, working at the movie theater, when there was like a big movie premiere, like an Avengers movie or a Star Wars movie, I would always want to work the ushering counter where you tear the tickets and direct them to the theater, because you would always strike up such good conversations with people. And they were the nicest
Now, that might be the exception, because during movie premieres, there were times where I would go and sit in line for 6 hours at a movie theater.
Yeah, and I'd be working.
Yeah, and you'd be working. But, like, there's that. But, like, I'm not going to become a nuisance for the people working there, you know?
No, I never really had problems with people. Now, I do have some, like, crazy stories of some people, like, working at a movie theater. You meet some interesting people.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
There was one time, it was always when I was closing. There was one time where we were, like, sweeping the lobby, and these teenagers were, like, trying to get their, like, friend through the door, but he was, like, on something or just, like, completely intoxicated. They, like, pantsed him in front of our, like, movie posters outside. He was, like, clinging onto them. They had pantsed him. He had turned around and just fell flat on his face on the pavement, busted out all his teeth. We went out there, and I, like, picked up his teeth.
Okay, nope. I don't care. I ain't doing that shit for less than 14 an hour.
How much teeth were there?
Yeah, that's the question. How many teeth?
I can't tell you. It was like, I had only been working there for maybe like a year and a half, and they literally like got the truck, turned on the truck, pulled up to the front, dumped him in the back, and we're like, we'll take him to the hospital now because we were about to call the police and like EMS. And I filled out. That was my first witness statement I've ever filled out.
A bunch of, I like the caveat of first. Fucking. I've been fortunate. I've worked jobs where I don't have to interact with a lot of people at times. But when I used to deliver newspapers, and when I did that, I think the most common time, like, I would deal with cops a lot, because like you would be driving around in the middle of the night throwing shit out of your window, you know, and they would be like, what do you put in the mailboxes, or what are you doing? And I'm just like, I work for this newspaper. I'm just delivering these. They subscribe to this. They do the check. It would take 30 minutes and make sure I didn't.
How many times did that happen?
I got pulled over. I don't even know. But I would also have to do... That many times? No, I just can't recall.
Oh, okay.
It was not a common thing, but I would get the light flash occasionally. And then the other thing is, like, if you have what they call store papers, which is like, if you have one of those routes, it's great because they pay a ton and it's less work than home routes, because you just have to go to like a couple dozen gas stations on 2 or 3 roads, as opposed to driving around an entire county delivering newspapers to every neighborhood. If you have store papers, you have to take the papers from the last night and bring them in so that they can tally up how many they didn't sell, because they still have to charge them accordingly based on that. Or they have like a reduced rate if you don't sell, but they still have to pay for them. But a lot of times, the most common thing that's happened is a cop would stop me because they would see me walking out with all the newspapers from the last day, and I would have to be like, "Oh wait, no, I just dropped off the new ones, and I have to take the old ones because of this." And they'd be like, and most of the time they were just like, "Okay," because a lot of times cops get paid a lot of fucking money to just sit at a gas station across the night, because because that's where people are gonna start getting robbed. And I delivered to some sketchy places, like the kind of gas station that like you pass by and you're like, not stopping there.
Yeah.
Like, and I would do that nightly, and like it's a good job, like it pays well, but the thing is like it is a toll, because it's like if you're doing a home route, you're staying up. You might get your papers around midnight, and drop off time is by 7 o'clock, but my route was an hour away, so I would get there at like I wouldn't be back home till like 8 or 9 a.m.
Oh.
And it was every night, so it's like your
sleep
body just
schedule,
yeah.
Like,
And see, that was like with my job now, I have to get up early.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in bed by like 9:15, 9:30.
I legitimately think that job, my sleep schedule has always been fucked, but I think that job has like permanently like changed how my sleep cycle works.
Really?
Yeah, I think legitimately it has, because like my body just like has learned to work off a certain amount of sleep, and that's it. And it's been like, you need to be awake at these times. Like, it's like if you have to be awake.
So you can't sleep past a certain amount of
I
time?
can't fall asleep before a certain time because my brain is like, you're going to have to go and pick up papers soon.
Damn.
And I worked this job in like years ago. So it's like.
During your formative years, it like fucked you up.
Yeah,
That's
probably.
Interesting.
At least you didn't have to do it in like, you didn't do it in high school.
No, I did. I wasn't supposed to, but I did. Because you have to be legally allowed to sign a contract. So I think when I turned 17, I got my first route, and I would pick up at like 3 a.m. And then
How did you balance that in school?
I would wake up at 3 a.m. I would deliver. They have to be in by 7. That was a smaller route. So that was like, it was also closer to school. I would get the papers done by 7. I would come home, shower, get ready, and go to school.
Wow.
Could
Didn't know
never.
that. Yeah, could never.
Yeah,
But also,
really
to
could never.
compensate that, I was going to bed later. Because, like,
And you were doing theater, and you were
yeah,
doing,
no, this
and
includes
you had like schoolwork, and
theater.
tests,
I've always been.
Damn.
I've always just said yes to everything. It's an actual problem. Like Matt's new podcast,
Me
like
too.
Internet Down, which
Me
is
too.
available now on this platform that you're also watching this on. But, like I said yes to producing that for him because like I legitimately believe it's like something something he wants to make. I want to help him with that. There's 2 other shows that are going to be coming out soon. There's this show. There's the commentaries. Like, I don't know how to say no to things. Is the thing. It's like every time I see something that's a good idea, I'm like, we should make that, and I want to make it. Same thing goes with everything I do. Like when it came to theater, the reason I was vice president of our ITS program, and ITS is the International Thespian Society, and that is its actual name, and it's great.
Sounds like lesbian.
But it does. It's great.
At me when I said what school I was going to, everyone thought I was going to be. That was so much fun because it was like a rumor started.
Yeah, because you were
Are
going
there
to an
a lot
all-girls
at
school.
that school?
What?
Are there a lot there?
I mean, yes and no. It's a very wide variety of people that you meet, especially at any college. You meet a wide variety of people. But
Yeah.
now that we're actually a co-educational school now, I would say,
You're co-educational, but it's still mostly women.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We have an honors program that's literally just named College for Women.
Yeah.
So if you're
exactly.
housed under that, you still get to do all the traditions we did as an all-women's college. But I would say yes and no.
It's like good 50-50.
It's like, yeah, but you meet such a diverse culture, and that's what I love. It's like, I didn't hang out with just the theater and just the education and just the lacrosse. I hung out with music students, art therapy students, political science of all things. Like, people I'm living with this
was
coming
the
fall
thing
is like
for,
political science.
The brief period I was in university, it was like the school I went to was famous for 2 things: their arts program and their law education. So
Really?
yeah, so it was all theater students, artists, and lawyers, and that's all it was.
That's like interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Such a diverse, because I would hang out with like the political science. My roommate, my freshman year, actually, she was originally a political science major, and now I think she's something. I don't know. I think she might be philosophy or something.
I love philosophy.
I love
Fun fact,
philosophy.
We have a
like,
friend
I
who's a
took it-
philosophy major that I really want to get on this show.
Yeah. Who is it?
I don't think they're a
That's not-
philosophy major.
Wait, or not a sociology. Sorry.
Psychology.
No, sociology, sociology.
Psychology and philosophy
Psychology.
are pretty damn different.
It's one of them.
Psychology. I know exactly who you're talking about. Their psychology.
Okay.
But
You might-
philosophy is.
We also have a friend who's a psychology major. I
Who?
think. Well, later. I don't want to name people and be wrong.
But I was just saying, philosophy is literally like I love it. I love to just like read it and everything. And I used to write like essays on it for like a class that I took back at Furman. And this one teacher was like, "Wow, you're really good at it. You should be like what is it, like major in philosophy." And I was just like, "What can you do with the philosophy degree?" Like I considered it, but I was just like, I was like, "Do I want to be a philosopher?" Like,
if it's something you love, actually, like. And you and I have talked about you going
make
into
money
teaching
doing
before.
anything.
You could
teaching
be
philosophy.
You could be a philosophy professor, and they love it. I took a class on. It was a special topics
philosophy
class.
in like not college though, because you would have to get your doctorate to teach in.
No, you don't.
Don't you to teach in college?
No, you don't have to have a doctorate.
You have to have a doctorate. You have to have.
You have to have the qualifications, but not just a doctorate.
I don't know.
No. Well, I took a special topics
class. A
class.
doctorate and confirms the fact you are like your title is Dr. Blank. You're a doctor of whatever. But I don't think to teach a college course.
Either way, it's a lot of certification for that. I was like, I would definitely do like philosophy is like some class in high school and middle school, but I feel like that isn't taught in high school and middle school.
Yeah. It's not. I literally wrote a paper on why we should start philosophy teaching so young, because literally, like, I took a special topics class this past semester on philosophy in children, and it was like why we should teach philosophy at the elementary level, because children are always asking philosophical questions.
They have such a wide imagination about,
and
like,
it's
so many things.
Philosophy is literally pondering on like why the sky is blue.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I should send you some of my papers. I wrote a 5-page paper on studying children's art.
The mind of a child.
Took your brain out of this, you and like put you in here. It's like
the line between the mind of a child and someone who's really, really high is very small. I think
we should like copyright that and put it on a T-shirt because it's actually like.
Back to the theater thing. We wanted to make T-shirts that said "Mom, Dad, I'm a thespian," which I really hope exists somewhere.
My mom was actually the one who was gonna purchase those for us.
It was a good idea.
She was gonna go on custom ink, and she was gonna make them because our theater director at the time, that was a hard no for her. Mm-hmm. But my mom was actually gonna do it for us.
It wasn't a hard no from her. It was just we were gonna do it and not tell her.
But think about it. Also, our like principal.
We couldn't do it with like our school's license, but we could do it and like not tell them.
Incognito, like everything we did in high school.
Shirts?
What?
I said, could we even have?
Not at school.
Not in our conservative state.
I mean,
like, at my school, I could have.
Our school wasn't really that conservative, though. Like,
no, we got yelled at a lot for shit.
Like what? Like in a conservative manner? Like, what do you mean?
If you ever use the Lord's name in vain on a stage, you're gonna get about how many letters?
No, phone calls.
Phone calls.
So, we were in a show, and one of our seniors, he was about to graduate, he said JC. Jesus.
I don't even think I think he just went G's on stage.
No, he said Jesus.
Okay, he said something.
He said the Lord's name in vain, and about how, like, there were many angry grandparents.
There was a lot. It was a lot.
Hey, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about like our like the staff there. But yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah, no, we got so much shit for this, and I don't even think it was in the script. I think it was an improv. It was
ad-libbed.
Yeah, it was an ad-libbed.
They were carrying off a prop, and it was a comedy show. It was the superhero show.
Was it that one?
Yeah, it was the scene.
Something went wrong, and they ad-libbed something to like make it seem on purpose. It was actually a great moment of improv, but we got so much shit, and we had to like. That's so awkward. He almost did it the next night too, but like he had to stop himself because we got
gosh darn diddly.
Exactly, like dude. Meanwhile, like. Like.
I remember at our high school though.
Those type of people, or like I get it, but someone who's gonna complain that much about it is also gonna be like bitching about their Starbucks pour over, you know? Like, dude, like just.
Let me tell you,
I don't care enough. Like, to be honest, like I got the fucking East Coast is on fire, or the West Coast is on fire. It's like 108 degrees in Washington, like right now. That makes no sense.
Also, total side note: did anyone else watch?
The planet's on fire.
I'm talking about the apartment complex in Florida that just crashed to the ground.
Yeah.
I've been keeping up with that.
They're putting in so much false hope, you know, like.
Yeah, they're putting in so much false hope because it's been 8 days and there's still 159 people missing.
Yeah, you can't live for 8 days without water.
Yeah,
you can't.
Can we talk about literally
and like they definitely have like no air.
Inevitable dooms.
Well, we're not. I mean, I don't
we're
think that's
fine.
inevitable for us.
We don't live in Florida.
And yeah, like their infrastructure is different than our infrastructure here. Like, our place has like been built for a long time. It's been standing. I don't even know how old that place was. I mean, it's probably just like pretty sure it was like built like. How do I put it? Like it was just like messed up.
No, here's
built,
the thing:
right?
is they would do yearly inspections, and their last inspection, they had so many things marked as wrong, but were never fixed, and that's why it crashed from the top to the bottom. It didn't sink into the ground like people were thinking. It started at the top and just.
Well, it's like you remember, like
Imagine
last
being
year,
at the
like
top.
you remember that big explosion in I can't remember what country, but it was like they just had like a ton of explosive shit, like just in a warehouse.
The fireworks in like the Middle East.
It was
that was in the Middle East. It was like
fireworks,
and it created like an extreme
Yeah.
explosion. No, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I was just like,
and it like and it like made like huge shockwave and it like.
Well,
messed up buildings.
Now that we've brought the mood down.
Not really. We're just talking about
we
life,
could talk
right?
about a lot of worse things.
Yeah.
I mean, we could. We could. I don't want to. I'd
But
rather,
yeah, I mean,
I'd rather
about,
go back
about
to
the
talking
Florida
about
thing,
shitty
I mean,
movies.
it's totally like false hope. Like,
Listen,
I am gonna say that. Like, come on.
the name of this
like,
podcast implies that I don't give a shit about anything.
Like, they're saying like, oh, we're searching all the time, and it's just like, you need air for that amount of time, and then like, you know.
Well, there have been
days?
some like miraculous stories to kind of bring something. Like, I read a story of this teenage girl and her mom who fell 4 floors into the debris, and the mom had broken her pelvis, and all her adrenaline just kicked in, and she saved her and her daughter, and like clawed them out of the debris. And I was like, dang, that's some good adrenaline right there. You must have been on like how many Red Bulls that day too, to like be able to do that. But there's some like I don't know. It did take fire rescue an hour and a half to get to those people who were just chilling on their balconies.
Yeah.
I love that though. Imagine just chilling on your balconies with your golf clubs, like just waiting.
Like look behind you and just like there's nothing.
I would freak out though. I would be like running for my life.
I'd be hanging on for dear life because I don't want to flip and crumble.
I'd be
or
like
fall. You know.
That's such an interesting thing to happen. Oh no, there's some good stories out of it.
I purposely not look at like I'm just not looking at anything right now because like now that COVID's like not over but like getting there. Now that we're starting to return back to normal, like we can be in the same room and podcast and it's not just me and Jake because we were isolated like our circles, but like now that we're moving back, we're starting to get like all the regular old America news, and I'm like, nope. Not this time. I haven't been on Twitter in weeks.
Why does our news always have to revolve around like really morbid things?
Because
have you guys realized that like our news is like
always
like
let's
so
be real,
morbid. Like where's the good news nowadays? Like
they're like these people got murdered, but look at this dog in training at the police station. Like that's not news to me. They train dogs every day.
Yeah, like the truth of the matter is tragedy is interesting and good things are uninteresting. It's the same philosophy with storytelling.
The most interesting news that I have seen recently, and it's not even that recent, is the woman that used Gorilla Glue to glue down her head. Yeah.
The thing about it is like even in a story, like if you're writing a story, it's like no one's going to watch something where everything goes right for a character. And I think the same philosophy can happen to news where it's like everything is like the interesting stuff is the stuff that goes wrong, you know, and that's what keeps people clicking. That's what keeps people.
But it's always like, to be honest, like in all honesty, it's like death.
Yeah.
nowadays. It's like
That's why I
shootings
just watch
and-
Entertainment Tonight because like
Or like you watch Inside Edition.
yes, I love Inside Edition.
too.
Oh my
It's why.
gosh, because that's just interesting
Just
stuff.
watch trash television. Like that's.
Now, let
that's
me
the
just tell you.
solution.
I love my trashy TV.
Trash TV is great.
I don't like the Real Housewives.
No.
I
It needs to be the right degree of trash TV.
I liked the shows like on TLC.
Where's that?
Give me some 19
Nice.
kids
No,
in
here's the
counting.
thing.
No, give me some 19 kids
Well,
in
no,
counting.
that shit went. That
is
shit
the
went
fan.
bad.
That shit did go bad real quick, but like pre bad shit.
Breathe. Yeah. Let's.
Was that really like the show that good?
No,
feel
I have
like
a
it was just, like,
deep-seated
wow factor,
hatred
like, how
for
do you live like
TLC.
that? You know.
I
Think about
thought
Like,
it was
wasn't
fun.
That
I have a deep-seated
Cringe
hatred for
compilation.
TLC, with one exception of 90 Day Fiance. Because
What about Toddlers and Tiaras?
No, I hate that so much.
seen so many.
I hate
my
that.
God.
Like, just the concepts around
I
that is like.
love it. I think that is
Fucking
so funny.
Steve Hofstetter has a great
Honey
like
Boo
stand-up
Boo.
bit about that shit.
Honey Boo
He
Boo.
also
Honey
got
Boo
like one of the guys on that got arrested or some shit.
Honey Boo Boo?
Yeah.
No, they got a divorce.
No, like the husband or whatever got arrested.
Oh no, yeah, that's when they went from Mama June from Not to Hot. The Wii TV took a spin off of that.
I can't. I say
Air that.
everything you're saying makes
Hasn't
me.
she like gained her weight back or
let-
something
less-
like that
Oh
now?
heck,
She?
we should watch it.
I don't know. Like every time I see someone like on TLC or something, I'm just like I can stomach about 35 seconds of
I wonder
this.
how much she get paid.
Dance Moms. Now that was my growing up. Dance Moms was it for me. I
Dance Moms, so-
love now season
It's so
8.
addicting.
But like, did you watch season 8?
Season 8 was like the newest one, right?
Yeah.
And it sucks that it's never coming back. You know that, right?
Happy birthday.
Oh, that's not Dance Moms.
No, it's Grey's Anatomy, and I absolutely, once again, I love Grey's Anatomy. Not season 1 though. Season 1 wasn't my favorite.
Okay, well that's what I was able to find.
But
That's
when
what I added.
spoiler on, you know, everyone's favorite Derek Shepherd when he dies, I didn't even cry. Everyone's like, "That's the saddest part." No, it's not. I've seen sadder
I
sadder
don't
things
understand.
happening.
They
Listen.
like made so many people die in that.
Oh,
show,
it's still
like,
going
come
on, though.
I know.
It just keeps going.
I know it's still going on. It's just saying, like, come on, like, how do you
Like,
actually,
soap operas
like,
just go
die
Now,
forever.
when he died, that was the saddest death, I think.
Stop tapping on the box. Dude, people were speaking of television, like people are still like pissed off about Game of Thrones and
Never watched it.
Me neither.
You know what, at this point
It's like Vikings and like
Vikings,
Vikings?
medieval.
and dragons.
Okay.
Now you know what's
You know
great?
what?
How to
I-
train your dragon. Let's talk about how
Is
to
it
train your
really?
dragon.
all right, here's a book.
Yeah.
That's the first installment of A Song of Ice and Fire, which is
I'll
called A
read
Game
the
of
first
Thrones.
page to you.
Then we have A Clash of
Story
Kings, Storm of
time
Swords,
with Anna
so on
Caroline.
and so forth.
Story time with AC. Prologue. We should start back. I can't even say the first name.
Let me see that.
Jared. Gared.
What are you
I
trying
feel
to
like that's
say?
like an extra way to say
G-A-R-E-D.
Jared. That's an extra way to spell like Jared. it seems
Jared.
like. Is it
Jared urged as
I
the
don't even
woods
know.
began to grow dark around them.
Don't read the
The
fucking
wildlings
book.
are
This
dead.
isn't fucking Audible.
Do the dead frighten you?
I have a theory.
Said
Have
Have I told
Waymar
you-
Royce.
Actually, we
asked
might actually
with
get in
just the
trouble if
hint
you
of
keep
a
reading
smile.
that, by the way. We might actually get in trouble for that.
I-
But
no,
You can
I
buy
don't
the book
know.
at barnesandnoble.com.
I listened to like I remember in high school I would listen to like I had like readings to do for like AP whatever like that one English class.
AP
I took-
Lit.
Yeah, or AP Lang. And I would just like literally listen to like the audio thing in the morning instead of like reading my stuff.
yeah, I did.
And like you can find like random people like
Listen,
reading over these
audiobooks are
books. Like
fine.
I feel
No,
like you can't.
children's people reading children's books are literally my nightmare. Some of them are just so
Well, not
creepy.
that. I'm talking about like these
Well,
actual things. I
consider
don't
my
wanna listen
major.
But
To. Oh.
like, I love fantasy. I love fantasy, but like, do you guys know the whole reason like kind of Game of Thrones went off the rails? Is it's
one of the actors.
no, not at all. The actors were on board. They were all good with it. It was the fucking writers or the two in particular whose names I forget. But they got signed on to do a Star Wars movie. And because of that, they completely like shafted the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. They were like, all right, this is over. We're doing Star Wars now. But here's the problem. They didn't have source material to pull from because the last book, Winds of Winter, for A Song of Ice and Fire, which is the book series Game of Thrones is based on, it isn't out. George R. R. Martin's been writing this book for years, and I have a theory. I fully believe that George R. R. Martin is just waiting to die before Winds of Winter will release. I fully believe the book is done.
Is
Hey Google, how old is George R. R. Martin?
72 years
He's
old.
72. I think he's
What
just...
is he like in declining health? Like I think he's got a while.
Yeah, he probably
I don't think
does.
He's waiting to die.
No, I
can't
think
wait that
no.
long.
Here's why I think that, because like whenever like the whole thing about when an artist is like the Game of Thrones hype is dead. It's dead because of that, because of the end of the show. But I fully believe that he's just waiting to die so that last book is like the legacy thing, and like when like an artist dies, how all their shit like explodes. I think he's fully wanting that to be his legacy. I fully believe that Winds of Winter is done.
Is it just like his
It's
family
done.
when you're an artist who dies.
What?
Does that money just like
It goes to your
'cause you're
estate.
selling it,
Yeah,
like,
it goes to your estate. Okay, I might sell
I've never
the
thought
other
about that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I know I'd never be in that situation.
Everyone fucking... And the books are good. I'm trying to get on the shelf. There we go. The books are good. The books are really good. But like that last book, I don't believe it's coming out until he's dead. I fully don't. It's not happening. It's not happening. Harry Potter ended, and we still get like the fucking Fantastic Beast and shit.
That girl was canceled. I thought,
like
right?
also like the
creator?
Ichabod.
She's not a...
Not a great
Well,
person.
what did something with transgender people? What
Yeah,
was it?
she's like
I forgot.
cool
what
with
it was.
Transphobic?
She's cool with gay people, but not trans people. Apparently, and she keeps
Like
going.
why?
I don't know. She keeps
If
going
you're
on
cool with
Twitter
gay people,
tirades
just,
about
like,
it.
You can be cool with trans people too. Like, come on, just.
She keeps going on Twitter tirades
Oh,
about it,
Lord.
and that's why people. I can't even remember.
I mean,
her
like,
name.
yes, like your
what's her
sexual
name?
orientation and like the way you identify is like your sex, I guess. It's like two different
What
things
is
like
her
that, but, like,
name?
come on. I don't know.
J.K. Rowling.
Rawling.
Yeah.
Okay. All these writers have R's in their names, and it's confused because I'm like Rowling.
RL sign.
Rowling. R.R. Martin.
Goosebumps.
R.R.
Yes,
Tolkien.
I read every single one of the Goosebumps.
Mm.
I love.
That's
the
a lot of
Goosebumps.
books.
I
Granted,
like the
they're not
Magic
short.
Tree
like,
House.
Every single one
Granted, they're
had,
short.
and I read. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
just like go through them so fast.
They are
Like,
like kids'
Signs
books, but like, or not
Horrorland or
kids' books,
whatever.
but like young entertainment
Oh,
books.
I love that shit.
I liked the Diary of the Wimpy Kid books.
Yeah, they still make those. Like to
They
this day.
should have been over a while ago.
Yeah.
Oh
but
yeah,
those
I
aren't
don't
like.
know how they're still coming out with like content.
I
Like
don't know. You just keep.
it's gotta be just like SpongeBob, level of like content.
It just
now.
I thought SpongeBob was over.
No,
I think it was, and then it wasn't, and
There's
then it
still
was,
coming
and
out,
it
so,
wasn't, and
no,
then
I
it was,
think-
and it wasn't.
But like it's just like the most random things it's got to be now. Like I feel like it was kind of like a concise story because like how they made that movie. I mean, it was like an actual story. Now it's probably just,
Well,
like,
here's the
random
thing:
things.
the first SpongeBob movie was supposed to be canonically, it is the end of SpongeBob, because like they've talked about this. It's like it is the end of the series because like the characters in that movie.
They have their character arc, or what are
No,
you
the
saying?
characters in those movies don't show up in the show ever. You know, like the King Neptune and
Yeah,
whatever
and
whatever the
his
girl's
daughter.
name was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Penny or some shit.
Oh, I
know.
don't remember, but I know
Yeah.
exactly who you're talking
Yeah.
about.
But the glasses and the black hair.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know.
I was thinking Pearl, but that's the whale.
That's
Pearl.
Crab's daughter. Adopt.
Mr. Krabs.
It's weird. I don't want to think about the reproductive nature of
Sponge Boy Me Bob.
SpongeBob Bob.
My
Come on,
favorite
man, Mr.
episode has to be Doodle Bob.
Bob.
He me noy me noy.
I like the one where he's just trying to hide a dead body for 12 minutes.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
one? What is
Nasty
he?
That's
Patty.
so funny
Yeah.
that they like actually had that on.
No,
Like,
it
kids,
was straight up
show,
a
right?
dead body.
I was watching a
What the heck?
TikTok the other day, and it was this girl, and it was like her quoting her favorite. I'll have to show it to you before we leave, but she was quoting, and I forgot of the one. I don't even know what happens to this fish after, but he goes, "Hurry up with them fries, 'cause I sure am." Like it just stops there.
Do you remember
I
you sent
can't
me
remember.
something? You sent me something about like the Animaniacs live performances. Like
They
a
had
few
live
weeks.
performances of.
Yeah, of the cast for Animaniacs went on tour with.
Oh, like the voice actors.
Yeah, they went on tour and performed a bunch of the songs, and she sent me like Yakko's World, and my response. You remember what my response was?
I cannot remember.
You sent me something about how cool it was or whatever, and I replied back with a video of me with Yakko's World in the background, just reciting the entire thing. I was like, get on my level, pleb. I was just like, United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, too. Like, it's up there. It's in there. That song. The
only thing that I can remember, like, I can't recite it all because clearly I don't know I know all United States, but not in order. But in school, like when I was teaching,
of Ohio.
No, it was when I was a teacher cadet in high school. The kids were having a chorus concert. Like the kids that I was teaching were having a chorus concert, and they sang a song called Nifty 50, and it would go Nifty 50, United States from 13 original colonies. Count 'em, shout 'em, tell all about it. And then they went Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut. And then it like do this weird like clap, clap, clap. Yeah, it was like yeah. I know the one you're talking about. Ohio, I remember that one.
Yeah,
too.
Jake's got that one memorized. I've got Yakko's World. He's got Wacko's America. Can one of you do me a favor and look over either on the camera or on the audio capture and see how long we've been going for?
We've been going for a while. It's 9:38.
Yeah, but what does it say on there?
I can't read.
I also don't like that I'm getting messages from a bunch of people giving circumstance. Hold on just a second. Keep talking.
Wait. Oh no. I thought I was getting Discord messages too and I was worried. I don't think I was.
All right, we can start wrapping up soon.
How long's it been?
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? It's been an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh gosh, yeah, no, I can't. I'm like having to pull stuff out now. But.
Yeah. Oh, I can't look at my thing. Never mind. But I'm glad you guys came in. You two are two of my longest friends. AC, you and me need to do one solo one day.
Yeah, that'd be great. We could definitely talk about
all your theater things. You guys could like probably talk about that for
Oh gosh.
We have so many stories.
But we can't name drop. That's the hardest part is because then we look at each other and
we can name drop certain people, but we can't name
Jake.
Yeah, Jake and I've mentioned other people on this show before that like.
Have you ever mentioned me? Probably.
Probably.
At least once in my
yes,
life.
I probably have. The problem is to come up with stories that don't pinnacle around people with a ton of drama, because drama is a
but you know,
thing.
being a fellow Gemini, like drama just follows me everywhere I
Don't
go.
bring that horse
You're
shit
a Gemini?
here.
Yes.
Me too.
Hey. We could talk about astrology.
Oh my god.
That's why we vibe.
Yeah.
Wait, when's your birthday?
Vibing so much. June 4th. When's yours?
May 22nd.
Okay.
I'm an older Gemini.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why. Yeah.
That's why we vibe.
Why we're vibing and why we're laughing. That's definitely why.
Because we're both sociopaths.
All right. On the note of astrology.
I love astrology. I could talk about it all day.
We'll go into it on the next one.
On the next podcast, it's just going to be Niko and I just talking about our least favorite astrology sign.
Oh, let me tell you.
I could go for days.
It sound right, boys.